Hey, what's up, guys? It's Epiphanies here, aka Funny McTow, rousing them haters and finding myself in a state of approval. This is going to be a quick one. So, I googled nightmare fuel to see what images would come up, because I have two images for you that I'll show you soon that is an example of literal nightmare fuel. Why? Because the real nightmare fuel is when it's unintentional. When something has been created and they're thinking, no, this isn't creepy at all. And it is, in fact, the creepiest thing you've ever seen. It's being hit with it when you least expect it. That is true nightmare fuel. So, the first image was from a fair. I forget what fair it was exactly, or festival or whatever. And it was just this creepy old Goblin Man thing reading a book, and it was amongst a bunch of knickknacks. And oddly enough, it wasn't for sale. I was like, oh, is this actually for sale? And they're like, yeah, for like $5,000. I'm like, it's pretty steep. Is it actually worth that? Is it like a movie prop? They're like, no. It's just that's how much I would let it go for, because it's not for sale. I'm like, oh, okay. Next one. So, of course, we all know, unfortunately, that Will Smith is playing the genie in Aladdin, and yes, this is creepy. I think this does definitely qualify as nightmare fuel, once again, because it's unintentional. But it really doesn't. It really doesn't do the first one justice. I just wanted to start off with something I didn't get off of Google, but that was still like pretty much nightmare fuel. And yeah, it is. And just big, freaking, kind of in between body type, Will Smith, the blue face. I mean, there's no amount of sincere smiles that would get me to not, just suddenly open up a dimensional rift and pull out, a howitzer and just take this freak show down. No way. I was just like, dead. And then you get all that loot. Some good loot. I'm starting to think, though, on a side note, how did the Cave of Wonders get all that gold? I think I have a crazy theory. I think that when the lion, like the guardian, like eats people, like his poop, his version of poop is like magical, right? Because he's magical. So then he turns people into gold. So the gold's like crap. It's what he does. It's where his business goes. It just stays in, so his system definitely is very toxic. I wonder how many people he had to eat to concoct the genie. Yeah, that's strange, so let's move on. As with a lot of nightmare fuel images, this one is quite self-explanatory. There is, in fact, nothing just overtly creepy about it, except for, of course, the eyes and the mouth and, the watermelon. And it's so simple. It's simple but effective. But, once again, I don't really count it necessarily as true nightmare fuel, because it's a little unexpected. But once again, I did Google nightmare fuel. This image came up, and it seems to be engineered in some way. So yeah, that's this one. So let's move on to the next one. So here we have a nightmare version of Shrek, and it looks to be some sort of paper mache, and it is definitely creepier than the previous photos because this looks to be unintentional. And if it is, then I really couldn't tell. So either way, it's definitely creepy. Definitely not engineered, in my opinion. The bottom row teeth, jutting out, as if those are the only real teeth, and the other ones might be painted on. The red lips look like he just recently ate someone, because that's some real rich copper rich blood there. And then the antennas, being all jacked up. I would say it's definitely, for me, a combination of the teeth and the eyes. That's what gets me with this image. Okay, on to the next one. So, granted, maybe this isn't as creepy as the Shrek, but just seeing this, like, real-life version of Homer Simpson is creepy for me because of, the proportions are just so askew. And, of course, making a real-life version of Homer Simpson that has all of the proportions adhering to the proportions coming from a cartoon, that's just creepy. I mean, the tiny ears, the giant eyes, I could take the bulbous nose, but it's you can't really see it because for some reason it doesn't have the full image, and I couldn't find it anywhere. But you know, the lips and the ears and the eyes really freak me out. I can handle the nose, but and then there's that vein. It's like, oh my goodness, it's just pulsating when I can see it when I close my eyes. It's not nightmare fuel necessarily for me, but it's definitely very disturbing. And this is a good old-fashioned Grimm's fairy tale here, really great. I remember flipping through the pages when I saw this illustration, kinds of illustrations as a kid. It freaked me out, and it did give me nightmares. But oddly enough, the stories didn't give me nightmares. I guess because as a kid, I could rationalize that yes, there is an absolute, there is a being somewhere, and that being only wants to do you harm, and that it would come from this kind of source, and it isn't just a stranger. Stranger danger, definitely. We all had that as kids, but for me, I don't know. I just like the idea of this creepy monster, and just as long as you don't go into the forest, just as long as you don't stray too far, you'll be fine, and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, I never got freaked out by the stories. It was just the illustrations. I could even see the monsters in my head. And when I would think about the illustration as my dad was reading the stories to me, it didn't freak me out. It was just seeing it, because now it takes on a whole new dimension, like it could be real. Okay, so moving on. So this is the last image I pulled off of Google under the word search of nightmare fuel. And yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. And I know a lot of people, aren't really freaked out by clowns, but I am. And I don't know where it hit this apogee point. I just remember I've never liked clowns. And I know that sounds really cliche, but as a kid, I didn't know who, I think his name was John Wayne Gacy or whatever his name is, whatever serial killer would dress up as a clown. I didn't know anything about that. It always seemed so deceptive. Like this thing is trying to lull me into a false sense of security. And as a kid, my worst fear was not necessarily the idea of being kidnapped, but just being grabbed. Like for me in my nightmares, that's where it would end. That's usually where I would wake up, when I couldn't take it anymore. And I just remember a long time ago, I had a conversation when I was in first or second grade. I was at the mall, and my dad was like, I think left me at the kiosk real quick. He's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna run and get something." I think my other family members were in a different store, and I think like my sister was crying or something. So I don't know why he left me at the kiosk, but I think I was looking at something, and I didn't really want to go see what was happening with my sister. That was that age where I really started to like distance myself, not necessarily from drama, but I just didn't want to be in a situation where I had to feel feelings I didn't want to feel at the moment, if that makes any sense. Started to do a little disassociation, or just keeping emotional distance. So like if it was coming, I would just avoid it at all costs. But anyway, there was this clown there, and I just remember him starting to talk to me, and I was like, I think I said, "I don't mean to be rude, mister, but I don't like clowns." And he says, "Oh, I'm not a mister. I'm a clown." I was just like, oh, okay. And he says, "And clowns just want to be your buddy. Clowns just want to be your friend." And then I was just like, no. And I just remember walking away. But like I said, I don't know where it hit its apogee point. I just remember that conversation. Maybe that's where it started, but it's definitely where it is now, which is just like, no, keep clowns the hell away from me. Not even the It movie clown freaks me out as much as just seeing ordinary clowns and the smile. And what really always got me moving from that point in my life was seeing a clown smile, seeing the seeing the teeth. So you have like the fake smile, like the fake lips, and then seeing like bright white teeth underneath. Always, no. Okay. But now, as promised, the two images that are true nightmare fuel, because I simply happened upon them, and they can be found on something very, very innocent. So this is a puppet, believe it or not. And it can be found on Folkman's Puppet website. So it's a website, and they make puppets, hand puppets, two-handed puppets, that kind of stuff. And I was looking up different puppets to expand the show, and I saw this little nightmare gem. I mean, just like, what is this supposed to be? This is puppets. Sweet, innocent puppets for kids. The little dolphins look cute. Even the sharks look cute. Even the crocodiles, even the most accurate looking one, don't look as nearly as scary as this Mozart in piano. And it's like, there's no context to it. And I just looked at it, I was like, well, this isn't creepy when I first saw it. I'm just like, what is going on with this? What is going on? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if this bothers you or not. But for me, I was just like, no. All right, on to the next one. The very last one. Get ready for this one. You know what? I can't prepare you for this next one. But you know what? Let me tell you the story behind it first. So, besides Folkman's website for puppets, I went on Amazon.com because often at times they'll have the Folkman puppets, and sometimes for a little more, sometimes for a little less, and like 9 times out of 10 I'll get it for a little less, and that's what I'm relying on. And it was basically a bloodhound. And it was like, I think like $500, maybe $600. It was really expensive, and that's because it was an original prop from the movie Cats and Dogs. So it had, it had all of the little wires and little pulleys and everything, and it was just, and not for a second did I go, oh, that's pretty cool. No. I looked at the price, and I saw the tiny little image on my phone, and then I clicked on it. And I just saw way too much. So, here it is. You're welcome, people. Yes. Let this image of a puppet dog just dead. It looks like roadkill. This is disgusting. I don't know who approved this photo. It shouldn't be up here at all. It needs to be under that category where it says like, click on buy options to see image, or click here to see images, because this is not cool. I mean, I'm not one of them, SJW people going around like, this isn't appropriate for children, but holy, God damn it. I mean, what am I looking at? Just seriously. And the reason why it looks so bad is because the materials they used have deteriorated over time. It's perfectly understandable when you stop and think of the fact that Cats and Dogs came out in 2001, so the movie was literally 18 years old. Literally, that somebody graduated, went to college, was was born when Cats and Dogs came out, and then maybe saw the movie. But yeah, this if you love that movie, this ruins your childhood. For anybody watching, I'm sorry. But let me up the ante by showing you yet another terrible picture. And front profile. God. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine bringing that home? Like, let's say you're just a collector and you've collected such high-valued items. And, I mean, this would go in the horror collection. And like, oh, it's from the movie Cats and Dogs. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Its tongue is hanging out. This is like Snoke's dog. It's dead. It's like, it would have been more humane if it was killed, like cut in half by a lightsaber. The eyes are falling out. $500. I mean, I'm not saying I'd buy it, even if it was like normal, but I could rationalize the cost. This is heavily damaged items, and the novelty of this being a puppet used in the movie, and an 18-year-old movie about cats and dogs fighting each other. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm trying to think of Jeff Goldblum's hilarious humor. I'm trying to hold on to that when I look at this image where he goes, "Our team is red hot. Your team ain't doodly squat." No, it's not working. It's not working. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the image. Ah, that's better. Back to the sweet-looking, innocent clown that doesn't want to hurt me. So non-creepy clown by comparison. You're too late, Epiphanies. What? What's that trick? You can erase the photos off your hard drive, but they'll just keep coming back. No, That's not true. That's impossible. He knows where you sleep now. Once you've seen the image, that's how they get in. Well, what's to say he won't come for you, Trig? Well, I know it'll come for you first. I didn't look at it. No, stop triggering me, Trig. Stop triggering me. I hope you all had a good time, a rip-roppin' time with me showing some photos that I put up. Thanks for letting me blab on. To end on a high note, I offer you the following video. Please, to enjoy.
Where's Claire Williams? Claire? Claire, my name's Olivia. Claire, listen to me. Claire! Claire! Look at Claire! 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 Come on! Claire, do it! Get in there!
Oh my God! Claire just got shot. What? No! Oh, it just came through the window. It was a bullet. Hit her in the neck. Oh, Claire's down. She's dead. She's dead. I'm calling the cops. She's dead. Claire!